Hello, and welcome to this segment of Loving Life. I'm Charlie Silva, board-certified hypnotist and certified professional life coach. I've helped many people take back control of their life and achieve their goals by asking the following question. Loving life, are you loving yours? If so, wonderful. If not, why not? If there's something that is stopping you from loving your life, what is it? And let's find ways to overcome it. If you missed any previous segments of Loving Life, you can watch them online at the MTN18 website, mtn18.com. I recently read a great article written by Matt Clarkson, the founder of the Mind Body Training Company. Now, Matt has always had a passion about personal development, creating his first hypnosis tape at the age of 15. He studied philosophy, psychology, and social sciences at Manchester University and founded the Mind Body Training Company in 2007. The entire article can be found at www.mindbodytrainingcompany.com. As Matt notes, these days everybody is searching for the ultimate miracle drug to clear negativity fast. And he asks, have you been searching for the same thing? If you're like most people, you feel stressed out and burdened with emotions like fear, depression, anxiety, sadness, and other negative feelings. The question is there really a miracle drug or secret ingredient to get unstuck and clear negativity fast? Well, in Matt's experience, as well as mine, there is a miracle drug that can dramatically accelerate the clearing up and cleaning out of all your inner garbage and negative feelings. It works amazingly well when you know how to access it within yourself. And that's what I'd like to share with you today, along with a simple but powerful technique, so you can begin feeling results very quickly. The miracle drug for accelerated clearing of your inner garbage can be summed up in one word: love. Now, this might sound a little cliche, but it's absolutely true. Love is the key that will radically accelerate your inner clearing like nothing else. The more you love your patterns and your sense of self, the deeper and faster you can actually set yourself free. But the opposite is also true. Without true love, it's very challenging to make any lasting progress. The catch is that it has to be real love and not a phony substitute version of love. So let's define what true love is and what it isn't. Like many things, the concept of love has been distorted by the programming of our culture to mean all sorts of things that really have nothing to do with real love. Popular music, for example, is full of lyrics that imply love as a feeling of desperate attachment. Lyrics such as, "I need you so much, I can't live without you." Well, obviously, that is not true love. That's a feeling of needing someone else to love you in order to feel okay within yourself. The real message behind the sentiment is, I need you to love me back in order to feel secure. Obviously, this is not real love. In fact, any form of conditional love is not true love. Any type of love for oneself or others that says, I'll love you so long as you abide by my rules or meet these conditions, isn't real love. Look closely and you'll see this type of so-called love comes from a feeling of needing to control the situation or have things go a certain way. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that boundaries shouldn't be honored and respected, or that we need to tolerate abuse or relationships that are not supporting us. It's also important to understand that you absolutely can truly love someone whether you choose to stay in the relationship or not. When it comes to clearing out inner negativity, anything less than true, unconditional love for both the pattern and the sense of self does not help. In fact, withholding love from ourselves and the stuck pattern is another layer of the same negativity. Now, I'll explain. When we feel stuck in any negative pattern, such as fear, sadness, guilt, or anything else, we've already made several assumptions which are not objective facts. The most important and basic is the conclusion that there's a problem that needs to be remedied. Once we believe there's a problem, we tend to continue withholding our love from the pattern and our sense of self, which actually ends up feeding and fueling the pattern. At this point, you may be asking, why should I love something that makes me miserable? What's the logic of loving what you perceive to be bad? If you're stressed out of your mind, for example, why would you love the stress? If you're 500 pounds overweight, why would you love that you feel compelled to overeat every day? If you think your partner is not showing you respect, why would you love them for that? Well, all of those questions are perfectly understandable. After all, if we love things we perceive to be less than ideal, it feels like we're condoning, supporting, or even contributing to those negative conditions, doesn't it? But actually, the exact opposite is true. You see, the more you internally resist anything, the more you're actually feeding what you perceive to be a problem. The more you drop your inner resistance to the way things appear, the more likely you are to act in ways that will actually help, rather than making the situation worse. So here's an example. Most everyone is familiar with martial arts. In martial arts, the more tension and resistance you give your opponent, the more controllable and defeatable you are to him, and the more of a problem you make for yourself. On the other hand, when you allow your opponent's energy, and this is not the same as relenting, then you have the opportunity to effortlessly reposition and redirect. Now, this is how martial artists are able to effortlessly defeat opponents of much greater size and strength. All forms of wanting, such as wanting to change, wanting to control, wanting approval, wanting security, etc., actually keep us stuck and limits our potential. Love is the universal solvent that accelerates the releasing of all limitation. Any desire to change, control, or fix what we have concluded is a problem is actually counterproductive. Not only is it not helping, it typically makes things worse. In fact, all forms of wanting and/or non-love feelings are stuck layers of the pattern we're trying to clear. That's exactly how we get stuck in the first place, in the resistance across the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual levels of our being. The answer then is love, pure and simple. And now here's a powerful meditation technique to help you clear negative patterns and grow your awareness and experience of real love. There are 3 steps, and the first step is accepting. When you look inside, the first thing you'll begin to notice is thoughts and feelings of resistance. Thoughts such as, oh, I don't like that, that's terrible, that's awful. When you see that, the next thing you might notice is a layer of resistance on top of that, with thoughts such as, oh, why is my mind doing that? How do I stop doing that? Then another layer, and another, and so on. That's precisely how we get stuck. So the first step is simply to notice, to the best of your ability, resistance happening moment by moment, and to accept or allow that it is happening. Again, wanting to stop the resistance is another layer of resistance. So oftentimes the best you can do in the beginning is to allow or give yourself permission for the resistance to continue, since it's happening anyway. If you find you can't do that, then that is just another layer of resistance, and so simply allow that to be okay, and so on. Now, it may be challenging, but just in seeing the pattern of resistance and accepting it to the best of your ability, you've already begun to slow it down. After noticing resistance and accepting it, you may begin to find a little more space to work. So the next step is to see if you can actually welcome the resistance into awareness. As you welcome it, you'll find the resistance begins to dissolve more rapidly. You may even begin finding it somewhat amusing and start thinking to yourself, okay, here it comes again. I knew it would get here eventually. And finally, the more fully you can welcome resistance, the more you're allowing an unloading of stored up negative patterns from the past. So step 3, and the highest form of welcoming, is to fully open your heart and love the contents of awareness as they are, without a desire to initially change them. Within a short period of time, you'll become very aware of the negative patterns that are keeping you from becoming the person you truly desire to be. So the more you can accept, welcome, and even unconditionally love your stuck negative patterns and sense of self, the more you are making space for the clearing to happen naturally. And as you know, hypnosis is a wonderful tool to help you clear away those negative patterns that are holding you back. Now be sure to check my website for upcoming Take Back Control of Your Life workshop. The workshops are free of charge. If you have goals you'd like to achieve but have been unable to do so, attending one of my workshops may be all you need to take back control of your life. Well, I'm sure I've given you some things, positive things, to think about. Send any questions or comments you have to me at charlie@mtn18.com, and I'll answer them in future segments of Loving Life. I'm Charlie Silva, and I'm asking you, loving life, are you loving yours? If so, wonderful. If not, why not? If there's something that's stopping you from loving your life, what is it? And let's find ways to overcome it. Always remember that you are awesome. Have a wonderful day filled with love and gratitude.